Long story short, my 34-year-old husband cheated on me. I don't know why. She says she doesn't know why either. Anytime I ask anything, it's just a river of tears. She says sorry and begs me to forgive her and forget it, but I can't. But leaving hasn't been easy either. We have 2 boys together. She's my high school sweetheart. Our families are longtime friends and are still tight with each other. They've all urged me to stay for the kids, to forgive her since it was one time, to not give up all the good because of one bad. But the worst part is she's pregnant. I found out about the pregnancy from my mother as I had her blocked and wasn't living in the same house anymore. I demanded a paternity test. She readily agreed and swore she'd get rid of the child if it's not mine. She's had nothing but curse words for her affair partner. But then, all she's done since getting caught, didn't confess, is curse the guy and herself and cry. She's threatened to end herself. And all she does is hug the boys and cry. I'm waiting on the results. I'll divorce her anyway, but she says the baby is for sure mine. That she slept with him once, whereas we'd been intimate pretty much every night the duration of her affair. It lasted 2 months, I think. They met, talked, and slept only once, if I'm to believe her. I don't know why, but the idea of the child being mine disgusts me. It feels like she couldn't commit to anything. Not to me nor the other guy. Why was she cheating if I was satisfying her? How is it that she wanted to talk about her feelings with some random man but not me? How was she sharing her deepest thoughts and feelings with this guy and being with me at once? How does that even work? I've always thought cheating was because you weren't being fulfilled by your partner at home. I've read all these stories of wives leaving their kids, denying affections to their husbands, making jokes at the husband's expense, ruining the men financially, etc. She's done nothing of that sort. She's still the best mother I could have hoped for my sons. They love her more than they love me, I know. She was still the same loving and giving woman I fell for while she was being with the other guy. I saw her texts, the ones she hadn't deleted, and every other text is, "I love my husband." I don't understand. I can't make heads or tails of this situation. If I did give her a baby, am I expected to forget and move back in? What if I can't do that? It's easy hating the child now because that might be her affair partner's. But what if it's mine and I still hate it? I genuinely don't know how to be without her. Our entire lives are interwoven. Some days I want to go back to the blissful ignorance I was living in. The DNA report takes a week, I believe. It's been 3 days. My sister, she visits Anna regularly. I'm angry about that too because she's only visited me twice. Says my wife just looks at our wedding photos and cries. We have a whole junkyard collection worth of pictures and memories. She begged me to go see her once. I am clueless of how to proceed. It would have been so much easier if she had been a horrible woman for those 2 months that I could begin to look back and hate. But I can't. Life had been as normal and sweet as ever. I don't even have a bad memory of her I can use to hate her. Our last big fight before this I can't even remember. I'm gonna see her and my boys tomorrow. I think I'll ask for DNA tests on them too. I know they're mine, but you never know. Maybe I'll do it just to hurt her. Maybe I'll find something and I'll just hurt myself more. But that feels so unfair to the boys. Just how do I make sense of this? Edit. I called her. She was crying again but agreed to meet with me. I told her I was going with divorce one way or another, but whether we can ever reconcile a few years later or not fully depends on her honesty. She was crying and her voice sounded rough, but after a while she said she will tell me everything. So she does know why she did it, but for some reason she asked me to bring my sister along. My sister hasn't said anything either. I'm only praying my sister doesn't turn out to be an accomplice or something. She didn't beg for forgiveness or say, "Think about our kids," after I told her how manipulative she's sounding. She seemed genuinely shocked to realize how she was holding me hostage with her threats. Does that mean something deeper? Are they actions of someone who has remorse? Edit. I talked to her. She showed me all the evidence, and I found out which the man was. I am certain now that she was in fact attacked. However, Anna doesn't seem to think so. She says she didn't fight back and had goaded him, which made him attack her. I cannot update because Reddit is being strange. I have decided to put everything on hold for now, and just take her counseling. Nothing else until I get the paternity results on the baby. Thank you so much for all the advice. Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. If you want the actual reason for why she cheated, not that it justifies it, it's most likely because you were high school sweethearts and she has not been with many other people rather than you. Her impulses got the better of her and she ruined things. Sometimes it's something as simple as this, unfortunately. I don't doubt you are a great husband and human and you do not deserve what happened. If I was in your shoes, I could not carry on. Once the purity of a relationship is broken by physical or mental cheating, then I could not continue. Comment 2. Why was she cheating if I was satisfying her? Because her cheating has nothing to do with you. She was trying to fill a gap in herself. It's not your fault. She needs therapy desperately. She needs to stop cursing her affair partner and start taking responsibility for her affair. You need therapy as well. I've always thought cheating was because you were not being fulfilled by your partner at home. That's not true, and I'm sorry you found out what a thought this is this way. Now, for the update. Hey everyone, thanks for all the comments and support on my last post. It's been a week since I updated you all, and let me tell you, it's been a roller coaster. I went to see Anna and the boys, and things have taken some unexpected turns. First off, the paternity test results came in. The baby is mine. I felt a mix of relief and anger. Relief because at least that part of the mess was clear, but anger because it didn't change the fact that she cheated. Anna was relieved too, but I could see the fear in her eyes, knowing that this wasn't going to fix everything. I did go through with the DNA test for my boys, even though I knew they were mine. I guess I just needed that extra assurance. They came back as expected, confirming I'm their father. It didn't make me feel any better though. It just felt like I was digging for more pain. Now, about that meeting with Anna and my sister. It was intense. Anna confessed everything. She said that she felt lost and confused, that she was seeking something she couldn't even name. She admitted that she was wrong and that she had broken our trust in the worst possible way. My sister was there, not as an accomplice, but as support for both of us. She's been a rock, even though I was mad at her for being more present for Anna than me. But here's the twist. Anna's affair partner showed up out of nowhere. He had the audacity to come to our house, saying he wanted to talk. I was furious. I wanted to throw him out, but Anna begged me to listen. He claimed that he didn't know she was married, that she never talked about me or the kids. He said he felt used and was sorry for any pain he caused. I didn't know what to believe. It was a mess of accusations and tears. The confrontation didn't end there. Anna's parents got involved. They've been our supporters since high school, and they were devastated. They couldn't believe their daughter had done this. They were torn between supporting her and showing me sympathy. It was clear they were disappointed in her, but they also didn't want to see our family fall apart. In the midst of all this, Anna's behavior has been erratic. She's been going back and forth between begging for my forgiveness and shutting down completely. She's been seeing a therapist, and they've suggested that she might be dealing with some deeper issues from her past that she never dealt with. I'm starting to see that this isn't just about the affair, it's about her mental health too. The boys are confused, they sense the tension, and they've been acting out. I've been trying to keep things as normal as possible for them, but it's hard. They ask about their mom, they ask why I'm not home, and it breaks my heart. I've been taking them out, trying to focus on them, but the strain is there. As for me, I'm lost. I've been talking to a counselor myself, trying to sort through my feelings. I swing between wanting to work things out for the sake of our family and wanting to just end it all and start fresh. It's a constant battle in my head. Anna's affair partner has been trying to contact her again. I found out because I saw the messages on her phone. She hasn't responded to him, but it's just another layer of stress. I don't know if I can trust her to stay away from him, even though she says it's over. And then yesterday, I found out that Anna had been keeping a journal during the time of her affair. She left it out, and I read it. It was full of confusion and guilt. She wrote about how she felt disconnected from herself, how she was searching for something to make her feel alive. She wrote about me too. about how she loved me but felt like she was drowning. I'm still processing all of this. I don't know where we go from here. The idea of divorce is still on the table, but now there's this baby on the way, and I can't help but feel a sense of responsibility to try and make things work. But can I ever trust her again? Can we ever go back to how things were? I'm supposed to meet with Anna again tomorrow to talk about where we go from here. She's promised to be completely honest with me, to answer any questions I have. I just don't know if I'm ready to hear the answers. Sent flowers anonymously, and she played dumb. Saw them at her place and realized she's toxic. She'll regret it when she learns the truth. I sent my girlfriend a box of flowers anonymously the day after Christmas. I don't really know what prompted me to do this, but I definitely didn't get the reaction I was expecting. For context, I am a 28-year-old male, and she is a 27-year-old female. We have been dating on and off for about 5 years, but we got serious in 2022, became stable, exclusive, and started talking about moving in together in the near future. 2023 was pretty rough for both of us, individually and financially, but our relationship has been fine, or so I thought, up until now. Like I said in the beginning, I sent her a box of flowers from J'adore les fleurs, and if you know them, those flowers are not cheap. I did not put a note, nor did I tell her that I was sending the flowers. The day they were delivered, they called and said they would be delivering them to her place in an hour. I took it upon myself to pick up her favorite breakfast and go surprise her with that after the flowers were delivered. First, red flag. When I was close to her apartment and started calling her to tell her that I was surprising her with breakfast and would be outside in a few minutes, she did not pick up the phone. She texted me and told me she was on the phone handling something and would call me back. After about 10 to 15 minutes of waiting, still no call back, I texted her and said that I had picked up breakfast for her and that I was outside and if she could just come down and get me. She read my message and didn't respond for another few minutes before calling me back and saying she was coming down. She did not say anything about the flowers, even though I know they had been delivered, and the delivery driver sent a picture of them in front of her door, so I know it was at the right unit. She comes down and greets me with a hug and a kiss, the usual, and we went upstairs. The flowers were nowhere to be seen, and she was a bit jumpy. She kind of guided me to the couch and was really weird about me getting up and moving around her apartment. She kept asking me if I wanted anything, water or whatever, and said that she would bring it to me. She doesn't usually do this, but that in itself is not so weird. What was weird to me was the fact that she was glued to her phone, texting the whole time, and she seemed a little upset. I didn't say anything about the flowers. I told her I had just come by to drop off breakfast and that I had to go handle some things and would call her later. I got up and left, and she let me leave without a second thought. A few days passed by as normal, and I still didn't mention the flowers. Last night on NYE, we were at a party together and got a little drunk. In the middle of a conversation about something completely off topic, she stops mid-sentence and says, "By the way, did you send me flowers the other day?" I said yes. She said they didn't have a note or anything and asked why I didn't tell her. I told her it was on a whim and I had kind of forgotten. And instantly our conversation was interrupted by the 30 seconds to midnight countdown. The rest of the night was normal. Today I went to her apartment again, and now the flowers are on her living room table in plain sight. I mentioned that I hadn't seen them last time I was there, and she claimed they hadn't been delivered yet. I know for a fact that's a lie. Is she cheating on me? Now for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. For all you know, she could have an ex that has been pestering her lately, and she might have thought he sent them. It's possible she texted him and was waiting for a response when you showed up, and that's why she hid the flowers. Is there any reason why she would think it would upset you if one of her exes was trying to get in touch again? The only way you will ever know why she didn't say anything is if you sit her down and ask her. You have known her long enough to know if she is lying to your face. Comment 2. Sounds like a stupid game. Did you already have a reason to believe she was cheating? She probably was uncomfortable receiving the flowers without a note and didn't want to cause problems by bringing it up to you, as it seems you already suspect her of cheating. She probably did ask/talk to people to see if they knew where the flowers were from. It doesn't necessarily mean she was talking to an affair partner. She could have been texting a friend. Now for the update. Hey everyone, a lot has happened since my last post, and I've got to tell you, it's been a wild ride. I wish I could say things have gotten better, but buckle up because this update is a doozy. So, remember how I sent my girlfriend those anonymous flowers? Well, things have taken a turn for the bizarre. After the New Year's Eve party where she finally acknowledged the flowers, I thought maybe we'd cleared the air. But boy, was I wrong. Let's rewind a bit to give you some context. My girlfriend, let's call her Emily, has always been the independent type. She's got this fiery spirit that drew me to her from the start. We've had our ups and downs, but we've been rock solid for the past year. Or so I thought. Emily's always been a bit secretive with her phone, but I never really questioned it. Trust is trust, right? Now, back to the present. Today, when I saw the flowers displayed on her table, my gut twisted. I knew they'd been there last time, despite her claims. I couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. Emily was acting all sweet and normal, but it felt forced. I played along, but my mind was racing. As we were sitting there, her phone buzzed nonstop. She glanced at it, her face changed, and she quickly turned it face down. I didn't want to be that guy, but I asked her who kept texting. She brushed it off, saying it was just her friend Sarah, who was going through a tough time. Now, I've met Sarah before, and she's as chill as they come. The idea of her blowing up Emily's phone didn't sit right with me. But I let it go, not wanting to start a fight. We watched a movie, and I tried to focus on the screen, but my mind kept wandering to that phone. After the movie, Emily said she had to step out for a bit, something about helping Sarah with an emergency. I offered to come along, but she insisted I stay and relax. The moment she left, I felt like I was in one of those detective shows. I know it was wrong, but I couldn't help myself. I peeked at her phone. The texts weren't from Sarah. They were from some guy named Mike, and they were flirty. My heart sank. I felt like I'd been punched in the gut. I didn't read much, but it was enough to confirm my worst fears. Emily was seeing someone else. I was still reeling from the shock when Emily came back. She was all smiles, acting like nothing happened. I confronted her about Mike, and she froze. The look on her face said it all. She started with the excuses, saying it was nothing serious, that she was confused, and that she didn't mean to hurt me. I was furious. All the trust we'd built, all the plans we'd made, they felt like a joke. I thought about all the times she'd been distant, all the late nights she'd explained away. It all made sense now. We had a huge argument. I couldn't believe she'd do this to me, to us. She tried to turn it around, saying I was invading her privacy, that I had no right to snoop. But the injustice of it all was too much. I'd been nothing but loyal, and this was how she repaid me. I left her apartment in a daze. I couldn't stay there, not with the flowers staring at me, a cruel reminder of what I thought was a thoughtful gesture. Now they just felt like a symbol of my own naivety. The past week has been a blur. I've been trying to piece together where it all went wrong. I keep thinking about our 5 years together, the good times, and how they seem tainted now. I've been avoiding our mutual friends because I can't face the questions, the pitying looks. I haven't spoken to Emily since that day. She's tried calling, texting, probably to explain or apologize, but I can't bring myself to answer. I'm not sure I want to hear what she has to say. It's like I don't even know her anymore. So here I am, trying to make sense of it all. I thought we were happy, that we were moving forward together. But it turns out I was the only one in it for the long haul. I guess the lesson here is that no matter how well you think you know someone, they can still surprise you. And not always in a good way. Sister invites cheating ex to wedding, but his mistress spills the beans. Her fiancé's mask slips and the tables turn as she's left speechless. This means I will not be attending. My other family members are horrified at her decision and are not attending either. I feel betrayed and heartbroken by my sister. I don't understand how she could do this. I was 32 years old with my ex-fiancé, who was 31 years old for over 12 years. 3 years ago, we moved house for his work. This was 200 miles away from my family. We could not sell our house, so to afford the new rental near his work, we rented out the house we owned in my hometown. Moving day came. My family helped us move the whole of the house contents, all my possessions, my pets, everything to the new place. I unloaded the van and went straight back to my hometown to get my house ready for the tenant. I cleaned it all, made sure the repairs were done, and then the day the tenant moved in, my ex-fiancé broke up with me via text. I had no home. He banned me from the new rental. A tenant was now in the home I owned. My pets and belongings were gone. I was heartbroken and distraught. I later found out he had been cheating on me for a while with a friend he told me he sees as a sister. This girl was always over our house. I thought she was my friend. This was his cowardly plan to get the move sorted and house rented and break up from afar. After being distanced and the initial heartbreak worked through, I began to realize how hurtful he had been. I had let a lot slide. He had been diagnosed with a condition that meant he could die at any moment. So anything hurtful he did, I excused or didn't make a fuss of. He would use his diagnosis when it was convenient to get his way. He would throw things at me because it made him laugh. Anything we did was his choice. He wouldn't let me have friends over. He would enjoy seeing me cry. To get this reaction, he would often play the music he had picked for his funeral. If I was ever sick, he'd be angry with me. He would make fun of my weight every day, jabbing me. He would do this in public too. He would grab any part of my body whenever he pleased, no matter how much I asked him to stop. Towards the end of the relationship, there were times when intimacy was incredibly painful. I would cry and ask him to stop. He didn't. After the breakup, I asked him why he did this. He said he got carried away. My sister knows all of this. She had zero sympathy. When I told her about the intimacy attack, she said, "Why would you try to ruin a good man's name?" After that, we didn't speak for a while. When she broke up with her fiancé, they broke up multiple times. She behaved as if she understood me and sympathized with what had happened. She also said she no longer had contact with my ex. We started speaking again and became close. She then got back with her fiancé. This guy has been violent towards her, thrown her out the house multiple times, takes MDMA and beats my sister. He's put cameras in their house so he could see if she had guests over. My family has tried their best to help her. We each have given her a place to go to build her life again, but she has gone back to him each time. And this time they are planning a wedding and is now pregnant. My sister grew up knowing my ex. She was 13 years old when they met and she saw him like a brother. My fiancé always said she was a loser and an idiot behind her back, but he was always nice to her face. I would defend her each time. He also would say to me, "If I wanted to hurt you, I'd sleep with your sister." I believed her when she said she no longer was in contact with my ex. Turns out that was a lie. She's carried on having contact with him the whole time. By inviting my ex and his affair partner, she knows this means I will not attend. The rest of our immediate family are also not attending because of this. I just don't understand her. I'm just so hurt, sad, and heartbroken. Now for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. On the weekend of the wedding, plan something nice for yourself. Be grateful you are not with the hurtful ex, and know that at some point, your sister will free herself of her aggressor, and you can reconsider whether you have a future relationship. The main thing to feel good about is that you are free of that aggressor. Comment 2. How romantic. A wedding full of abusers and their victims. You are not missing anything. Go no contact with your sister, and I use that term loosely, and concentrate on just living your best life. She made her choice, and it is not you. She does not get to come crawling to you when her life blows up. And it will. Now, for the update. Hey Reddit, it's been a month since I last posted about the whole mess with my sister inviting my ex-fiancé and his affair partner to her wedding. I know you've all been waiting for an update, so here it is. First off, let me fill you in on some of the backstory that I didn't mention last time. My ex, let's call him Dave, and I were high school sweethearts. We were together for over a decade, and I thought we were rock solid. I supported him through his diagnosis. and I was there for him through thick and thin. I thought we were a team, but it turns out I was just his doormat. Now on to the juicy stuff. After my last post, things got even more intense. My sister, let's call her Lily, and I had a huge confrontation. I couldn't believe she'd side with Dave after everything he put me through. I was so angry, I just let it all out. I told her how betrayed I felt, how she was choosing a man who had hurt her own flesh and blood. She tried to defend herself, saying that Dave had changed and that he was sorry for what he'd done. But I wasn't having any of it. The rest of the family was on my side, and they all refused to go to the wedding too. It was a big deal because we're a tight-knit bunch. Our parents were devastated, and it caused a huge rift in the family. Lily was isolated, and it seemed like she was going to go through with the wedding without any of us there. But then, something unexpected happened. Dave's affair partner, let's call her Sarah, reached out to me. She wanted to meet up and talk. I was hesitant at first, but curiosity got the better of me. We met at a coffee shop, and she was a nervous wreck. She spilled everything. Turns out Dave had been manipulating her too. He told her that he and I were on the rocks for years and that I was okay with an open relationship. She was horrified when she learned the truth. Sarah broke up with Dave and wanted to make amends with me. I was shocked, to say the least. I never expected her to come forward like that. We talked for hours, and I could see she was genuinely remorseful. It was a lot to process, but I appreciated her honesty. Meanwhile, Lily's toxic fiancé was up to his old tricks. He got caught cheating on her, and this time, she finally had enough. She left him for good and called off the wedding. It was a tough time for her, especially being pregnant, but she realized she needed to do what was best for her and the baby. With the wedding canceled, the family started to heal. Lily apologized to me for everything, and we slowly started to rebuild our relationship. It wasn't easy, but I could see she was trying to change. She moved back in with our parents, and they were helping her get back on her feet. As for me, I started to take back control of my life. I got my house back from the tenant and moved in with my pets. It felt good to be in my own space again. I also started therapy to work through the trauma of my past relationship. It was hard, but I was determined to come out stronger. And then the best thing happened. My family threw a reunion party. It was a way for us to all come together after the chaos of the past few months. We laughed, we cried, and we healed. It was like a weight had been lifted off our shoulders. At the party, I reconnected with an old friend from high school. We'd lost touch over the years, but he'd heard about what happened and reached out. We talked for hours, and there was a spark there that I hadn't felt in a long time. We've been seeing each other ever since, and it's been amazing. He's kind, respectful, and he makes me laugh. It's still early days, but I'm hopeful about the future. If you like this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.